When back in ye olden days, they would just commit these people. You know, they'd throw them in an institution and let them crap all over themselves. But
when women got pregnant?
No. They should. No, the mentally challenged people, Opie. And then during the late 50s, early 60s, they started doing this thing where they figured, you know, they could what they called mainstreaming. They could put them into society, make them productive members of society. And one thing, an experience I have with mainstreaming was an elementary school I went to.
It was called mainstreaming?
Opie, it was called mainstreaming. Yes, they put them back into a society because they realized that they could contribute something, and there were different levels of these mental handicaps, and they didn't have to just take them all and throw them all into an institution.
Forget Aristotle and fuck Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony.
Knows a little bit about everything.
So
many complaints about that, by the way, while we were on vacation.
The worst song ever.
That thing is not going away.
What song do you mean, Op?
Forget Aristotle and fuck Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony.
You know, the song is bad enough. It really is. But that spit slurp that he does right after Socrates.
What spit slurp?
Listen close.
Forget Aristotle and fuck Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony.
You couldn't get through that without drooling, you mental. Ugh. Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony. Thank you, Rich Voss, for that song. You slurping buffoon. Yes, mainstreaming, Opie. And when I was a child in elementary school in East Northport, they introduced mainstreaming to my school. They had a special class of mentally challenged children that went to our school. But they were in a separate class than ours. And I was in, I guess, second, third grade maybe. But during lunch, that's when
they
brought them out, and we all dined together. And it was such a treat for the regular kids.
Dude, you just brought back a memory, man. In my high school, Harborfields High School, there was that section of the school that no one went to.
No one went.
And you had no idea what was going on in that section of the school until lunchtime. And they paraded those people into the lunchroom.
I'm sitting at the lunch table just trying to choke down a lunch. And right next to you would plop down a tray. And there were kids, and I'm talking old school retarded, too, like 70s retarded, not like now retarded where there's tests for these things and they suck them right out. There was a kid, because now, you know, you get retarded kids, but for the most part they got a lot of tests for these things, you know. There was one kid who had water on the brain. What archaic disease is this? His head was huge. And I'm not talking big like, hey, that guy's got a big head. Hey, you with the bass pants. You got a big fucking head. Oh! Not that comedy big head. His head was huge. And he had this little pointy chin, he couldn't keep it up. He had a little skinny neck. He couldn't keep his head up. Yes, Jimmy?
Oh, no. I'm listening about I'm waiting for the glasses, and when he got into radio as a producer part comes.
Yes, we had attendance. Teacher would yell out Sparks, and he would go, ah! And he couldn't keep his head up. So it would fall down. I don't know how I could convey this on radio, but he'd be sitting there, and his head would go, like wrap around. Like it would do a circle, whereas his chin would go into his shoulder, middle of his chest, other shoulder, back up. That's it. It would go, whoa! All day he would do this. And of course the really like weird teeth, like Clint Howard teeth from the Star Trek episode, and then drool, lots of drool, and then another kid that had a horse eye. You ever see a horse's pupil? It's wide and fuzzy. It's like rectangular shaped. I could get into the whole thing of why a horse has different pupils, but
forget Aristotle and fuck Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony.
I'd like to learn something today, Anthony. If you will, real fast.
Well, they have different vision than we have. They could see in the dark a lot better, and their pupils open up. They have much better peripheral vision than humans have also. Instead of a round pupil, it's a rectangular shaped pupil.
They also have big cocks.
horsecocks, I hear.
You really do.
And he had this horse eye. His pupil was all screwed up like that. And he was another one, like just drool. All the drool on their hands, and you're trying to eat, and, you know, I'm sorry. And then there was this kid called Gallagher. But me and my brother called him Dally Dooley, because that's how he said his name. He'd be like, what's your name? And he went, Dally Dooley, because his name was Gallagher. And we called him Dally Dooley.
Well, there's a whack bag name that'll be here in about 5 minutes.
How quickly will someone be Dally Dooley on Whack Bag now? Welcome to Whack Bag, Dally Dooley. And we called him Dally Dooley, and he would pick his nose constantly picking his nose. And he was Dally Dooley. And we'd be like, ew. We'd be sitting at lunch and go, ew, here comes Dally Dooley. And we'd run away from Dally Dooley, who would then sit down and proceed to pick his nose and drool all over everything. And what a horrible thing. You know, great for the retarded children that are sitting there and being mainstream, but how about the poor second graders that are sitting there trying to, you know, adjust to life, that are now getting all these complexes and feeling all weird and not being able to eat comfortably because Dally Dooley is next to him. Or Horse-Eye Kid. Or the kid that can't hold his big fat head up.
We had a retarded boy in our school. He was functional retarded, but his name was Mark, and he would always scratch his face and go, ah!
Holy Jesus.
And when he ate pizza, you know how you get that awful square pizza?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing he would do, he would just scrape all the cheese off the pizza and then just eat the red bread.
Yeah, the saucy bread.
He used to hate when you'd blow on his face.
So what did you do relentlessly?
Oh, hey, Mark. Both hands scratching his dumb cheeks.
Oh, that's great. Unbelievable. They weed all these out now.
Yep.
Sure, you see an occasional Down syndrome, but can't they test for that now, too?
Yeah, I think sooner or later.
But I think the people that have them now are people that are like, well, we don't care. We're having a child. But I think they test for it because you really don't see as many mentally challenged and physically challenged like that people as you used to. We were going to school with goddamn thalidomide babies, flipper kids. How the hell are you going to learn math when you got a flipper kid right there? It's impossible.
You're just trying to wonder how they hold the pencil.
How the hell is he holding that pencil?
Can you make that noise again, Jimmy?
Yeah! You're bothering me! Oh, he hated that.
Was he Lou Costello?
Right in his dumb face.
You're bothering me!
That's what he would say. Stop bothering me.
He's blowing in my... Stop blowing in my... Abbott! He's... Here comes Dally Dooley Abbott. Dally... Jesus.
All right. Do we have time to get into the sex ed trainable audio stuff?
I would love to hear at least a little sample. I learned one side is white, one side is blue. That's from Dally Dooley. Dally Dooley. God, you know something? I hadn't thought about Dally Dooley in years and years and years.
That's one thing.
And I'm just talking about it. The name came back to me.
That's one thing I love about this show. It just reminds you of stuff that you thought you forgot about years ago.
10 years of radio. I never talked about Dally Dooley.
I know. It's great.
Dally Dooley.
Cody from Buffalo. I learned the inside of a...
There are 6 versions of Dally Dooley on Whack Bag right now.
Wow, already.
Nice.